Hari Om and welcome to all the Divine Atma Jyotis to today's AVSC Satsang. Let us continue our contemplation of questions based on talks by Sri Prabhu ji on Aparoksha Anubbhti. Right now we are contemplating on day 4 based talk, and we have framed these questions. Right now the focus will be from question number 4 onwards. So let us begin with question number 4. So the question number 4 is, isn't what world thinks of me same as what I think of me? Will I not become a people pleaser if I go behind what world thinks about me? So we did touch upon this question also in our last session. However, if there are any other further points to be added, subtracted, this question was brought up by actually Shubhaji, so we added it during that. Is there anything more to add to this question?
Or we can get the answer summary from Shubhaji.
Shubhaji, would you like to summarize? And if anyone has any other points, they can add. Otherwise, we can move on to the next question. Are you speaking, Shubhaji?
No, not yet, sir. I'm just collecting my words. I don't know how to put it across.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sure.
Sir, if somebody else can take the question, I will just give the milk and come back.
Okay.
It just came.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Yeah.
I have to give for the summer vacation kids.
That's okay. No problem. Please do that. Yeah. So Padmaji, would you like to take a first cut at it?
Yeah. So I think what the world thinks of me is same as what I think of me. That's because my world is nothing but a projection of my own thoughts. And normally the understanding is that I am separate from the world. This world is rather contrasting to what I think. So there is always a conflict between me and my world. But actually, world is nothing but your own projection. So in that sense, what world thinks of me and what I think of myself is same, one and the same. Will I not become a people pleaser? I think when you think that you and the world are separate, that is when this thing will happen, because you are constantly working with the motive of somebody else thinks this of me. I have to change that. And so my actions will also come from that aspect. However, can you please everybody on a daily basis with your actions? No. There will be someone who doesn't like what you're doing at every point in time. At whatever you do, someone is not going to like what you're doing. So more than what others think of me, our actions should be based on what is really needed to be done. And for that, the other things will also come into picture, like what is dharmically possible here, or what is actually needed in this situation. So that will kind of help you to not become a people pleaser. Only when you have a separate view of I and the world, then the thing about what will others think come. If I and the world think the same thing, or if I and the world are same, when we understand that I, the world and God, we all three are the same, then this question of pleasing is not there, because you are the only one there. That's all, sir.
Wonderful. Very nicely put, Padmaji. Anybody else likes to add to what Padmaji said? or ask any questions to what Padmaja
Yeah.
is saying.
So kind of the way you explained, it takes to like clarify the question, saying like is like how is this question right? So you said there is no world outside of me, but then the same mind is basically throwing both the views. The mind is playing games, taking two roles. I role and the world roles. I'm seeing it like this. I'm doing it like this. Oh, but the world can't think like this. The world may be doing like this. Where you said there will always people will have different views, and you said you cannot keep doing to please them. That line, how do you explain if the world is not there outside of you? Then whom are you trying to please or not please? By
Yeah,
yeah.
I got your question. So I think till we come to Vedanta, if I have to speak about my own experience, is what I can talk about. So till I came to Vedanta, I think I was a people pleaser. I think that's why I liked when she mentioned it last week as well. That won't I become a people pleaser? I think I was that. I was a people pleaser because no matter and you know with that people pleaser, that is also there is also one more thing that comes into you is no matter what I do, it's never enough. That attitude, that thing also comes within you because someone is constantly not satisfied with what you do, or there is some complaint. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is who I was before I came to Vedanta. And it has troubled me in multiple ways, not only in many levels, I should say, physical, mental, emotional, and there will always be like I am inadequate or what I do is not enough. So there was a constant striving to perfect myself, to make myself okay, how else can I do it better, how else can I do it better. This also came from a point where I remember, I think during my second or third session of Bhagavad Gita, when I began with Sir, so he asked one question of how will you perform actions, and I said, oh, if I can see Krishna in everyone, and you know, would Krishna like this? That should be my attitude. But then, although I said that, my understanding of uh, if I see Krishna in others, will I not perform well? Again, that was wrong understanding with which I said that statement. That statement might have been right, but the understanding I had behind that statement was wrong. So, so that is how, you know, see, just because you see Krishna behind in everyone doesn't mean that, but see, it doesn't mean that whatever you do, you can keep doing to please them. Okay, they may have various kinds of demands. Okay, so here, before I see Krishna in others, I learned that I should learn to see Krishna within myself. That was my big takeaway from that. Because first of all, I have to be thinking myself also as a divine. If I think myself as a divine, will I really be a people pleaser? Because at some point, Krishna will also say no to certain things. No, he is not somebody who is always going to say yes, no matter what you ask of him. There might be things that may not be good for you. So he will say no. So one thing about being the people pleaser is you always say yes to everyone, whether you know, you are comfortable doing it, not only mentally or emotionally, but also physically. You might push yourself physically to please someone, which may not be good for you in the long run. And if it is not good for you, if you are not capable itself, if you're not physically fit, how are you going to be of any help to anyone else? So then that that changed within me. Like, okay, how do I do this? It is not just enough to know that I have to see the divine in others. Okay, if I really see the divine in others, then some questions start coming. No, if somebody is divine, say you are divine, and I consider you as divine, certain things that you ask me will again raise a question within me. Is it really the divine in that person which is wanting me to do this, or it is something else that is making them ask this from me? Okay, so that comes again. Another thing what I have observed is, when I say what the world thinks of me and what I think of me is same, and when you asked that, you said, um, uh, sorry, the exact line I'm not getting, Saravananji.
Yeah, when thinking is that understanding becomes easy, saying like the world is me only, my own
Yeah,
projection.
so how do I, when
But
I
then
say,
when it comes to people, you cannot see that way.
yeah. So that is where that is what I learned, that okay, if these are the projection of me, okay, if this is the projection, if world is, when I went into Vedanta, when we understand initially, see now the understanding is better, but in the beginning of Vedanta, when we heard the statements from Guruji in that video, that you, the world, and God are same. It was not even easy. Forget about easy to accept. I didn't even think it is correct. Just because he said it, I was not able to believe it. How can I and the world be same? Okay. Then again, there is one, like, how can I create all this? Even not only the bad things, even the good things, even am I capable of even creating these good things? That questions and all started coming. But today, it is so crystal clear. I don't know when the shift happened. Or is there really a way to know when the shift happened? No. But because of constant, you have been listening to his talks for 3-4 years now, at least, from the point of Tattva Bodha. And we are also continuing Gita. So with all that, somewhere some shift deep is happening, because of which it is easier now to even say, or I don't say it because I don't believe in it now. Earlier, it could be like, okay, I said it because Guruji said it. And whatever he says is correct. It was one aspect of what I used to believe in. But now, it is not only because Guruji says it, because somewhere deep down, I also believe in it. I also know it to be true. That's why I say it. So that shift has come. When that shift comes, I think it is not about it is not that I don't see the world as the world, okay, but now I see it from the perspective that, okay, why am I having, say, I have certain, see, it is not with everyone you have a conflict. You have a conflict with a few chosen ones. Okay, so I think of them as, okay, they have come to change something within me that still needs to be changed. Okay, whereas with some you have very good relationships. Especially if I have to take my personal this thing, I have a very good relationship with my son. Okay, again, we don't get into attachment and all that right now, but that is one place. But there are certain people with whom I used to have a conflict. So that conflicts, as they get resolved within me, those people have disappeared from my life, or those conflicts have gone away from my life. Okay, so it is not that they have disappeared from the world itself, right? I know they're still living and existing somewhere. Okay, just that they are not part of my world anymore. It is like I think for me they have become like Himalayas, or I don't know, like Ganga or something like that, where it is there, I know, but I don't experience or meet Ganga or Himalaya every day. It is like that for me now. So they are there in existence. However, they are not into my world. It's not in my world because that thing has gone from me, is what I feel. So like that, this I am talking only about the people that come into my life. I am talking only about that, the relationship. However, it is also true that what I think of me, say, I think that I am a people pleaser. Okay. So I will attract people like that towards me. What you think of yourself is what you are attracting towards yourself. Because there is something that needs to be changed. There is some lesson in that. So obviously, you will attract such things to purify. I can say, see, one way of seeing it is, How do you actually, Vedanta talks about purification of mind through actions. How does that work? It works like this only, right? When you are performing action, there is something deeper happening within you, which you may not notice. So depending upon what kind of actions you are doing, so karma phala, that is all different, but there is also something deep within you, which is making you do the actions, or which, because of which you are choosing to do a particular action, and you are choosing a certain way to do that action. Is it not? So whether it is conditioning or whether it is your own understanding currently, there is a change constantly even there. It is not noticeable very clearly for us. So we don't know. But once it gets resolved within you, those emotions get resolved within you, there is a feeling of lightness that you experience within yourself. I don't know how else to put it other than lightness. When I say, for example, when some people you had conflict with, whenever you are in that conflict, there are so many things happening within your body, chemically, emotionally. And then suddenly, when that thing gets resolved, when you are able to accept all that, well, there is no such feeling, and there is such a lightness. And if you are aware enough to notice it, or conscious enough in that moment, you will see that, okay, the shift has happened. What has shifted here? You think like that. So I have experienced this kind of thing with many people around me. So in that sense, I feel that although I say that when I think of myself and what the world thinks of me is the same, it is also there to correct what I think of myself, isn't it?
So
I
it's,
have,
it finally
yeah,
boils down to correcting what you think of your.
yeah, because since it's the same, it's going to shift, isn't it? Since what I think of myself and what the world thinks of me are the same, the shift has to happen
Initially, it
only
was
within
different
me.
to start with.
I cannot change the world that I interact with. I cannot change Ramana,
So
or I cannot.
I want to just pause there, ask a question. So you said you cannot change the world. Also, you said you create the world.
Yeah, see that. No, that's what I'm coming at. See, the only person you can change is yourself, right? From any perspective. You see it from Vedanta perspective, you are only there. So only person you can change is yourself. Okay. Even if I see it separately, like I and Sarvanan or I and Vijay, I cannot change Vijay or Sarvanan because I don't know what is the content of your mind or what are your experiences. Okay. But I can only change myself. If I am having a bad experience with you, I can only change myself. How do I change you?
So does
Okay.
that mean like you are not, you cannot create the world or you cannot control the world?
No, I can control my world because when I change myself, okay, say I don't like anything you say, okay, if it is like that, okay, if I don't like anything you say, where is the change I am going to have? Because you are still going to say the same things you have been saying to me, okay, whether it was yesterday, today, or tomorrow, it is going to be the same, okay. And if I don't like anything about you, what can I change? What can I change there? The only thing I can change there is why I don't like what this person is saying. How can I change that? Is the only thing which will change my experience with you or my experience in the world. In this case, you are the world. So my experience within myself, when I change, then only I can see the change outside. Say I resolve it, then there is no reason for me to not like what you are saying. So then my conflict with you is resolved, isn't it? So that is how I am seeing it. So what I mean here is, what the question that you asked, I'm coming to it. Like, when I say what I think of me is the same as what the world thinks of me, it is the same. It is the same because my world is a projection of me. Okay, that is one point. Second, that doesn't mean that I am not having a world and I am not interacting with it. That is the part where I am functioning. I am performing as a role. But now I know it is a role. It is not me. So I can change it because the narrative is me. The narrator is me. The narrator is me. The creator is me. The one who's seeing it is also me. So I can make it the way I want to. It is like I am the author of everything, no? So say in my book, everyone has one role. Shubha has one role.
But
Saravanan has.
you just said, right, all the
I
changes you can create is in you, not in others' role, in other roles.
Yeah, but see, I am the narrator, so I have to change it within my story only. I cannot come and change Saravanan story. But Saravanan can suddenly become from a very bad person to a good person in 4-5 pages, isn't it? If I'm writing a book, I can change him however I want to, because I am the narrator here. I am the one who's directing this play, and I am the one who is seeing it. So if I change my view, Saravanan's character will change, no? So that is how I connect it. And I hope I could answer what you were raising. Yeah.
Okay. So you make the world view and your view same by internally solving the difference, and then like you create the world by narrating the world the way you want.
Yes.
Your
Yes.
line. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it's very clear in my mind that I am the director, I am the narrator, I am the witness. So I can change characters, I can bring back characters, I can throw them out of the play. I have a lot of freedom.
So, Padmaji, so now, for a moment, Saravananji and I will gossip. Saravananji, this Padmaji thinks it's all about her only, as if you and I
She's
don't
full
even
of, she's full of herself.
full of herself.
I don't exist there.
As if you and I don't even matter.
She just
You
now
can
said,
do
no,
whatever,
she
she
doesn't
will
like
redirect
you.
Oh my God, Shubha. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, it can seem to others like that, but if you
Just one point here. But if we think that way, all our problems are solved, right?
Yes, Shubha, there are no problems, isn't it?
Yeah. Because
I would like to, Shubhaji, Padmaji,
Yeah.
sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
One clarification that, Padmaji, when you're narrating, you can also bring it. It's not about thinking like that. See, thinking is a habit that you create. So what Padmaji is saying is not about thinking like that. It is not like, okay, one of these personality development classes where you say, okay,
No.
like a winner, think like a winner. So there is still a me and the thinking about
Yeah,
something.
someone else. Yeah.
Here, the resolution, the true resolution is happening because the independent me is truly not there. The so-called independent me, the so-called ego I is not there. When the ego I dissolves, then only there can be a complete independent acceptance of what the others are. Because always see, you are accepting or denying or rejecting or whatever commentary you are doing with respect to some fictional I. Some fictional I within you. So the mother in you got hurt, or the wife in you got hurt, or the sister in you got hurt, or the employer in you got hurt. That is how it is. A particular role when you're playing is when you feel that friction, is when you feel that tension, is when you feel I like it or I don't like it. So the answer is not so much about thinking that, I am projecting the world. That is a reality. It is by recognizing and realizing the reality that you are truly able to resolve. Otherwise, it will continue to lead to other thinking patterns.
So you mean to say, if I say thinking, the problem is not resolved. It keeps coming back and again and again.
Yeah, because
So I have to
you are
shift
still
from
there.
thinking to realizing.
Because you are still there. So therefore, you will continue to think. You will continue to think.
Okay.
Sir, actually, I think there is no proper word in English, no, to describe that aspect other than the word thinking, isn't it? Like, okay,
But
realizing, okay, but it has got its limitation of how do you put it.
So there is, what is the jnana? The jnana is truly, not as a thinking process. Truly, there is no separation between me and the world. Very idea that I and the world are distinct is itself an illusion. So realization of that illusion will lead to naturally the internal dissipation of the one which is causing the illusion. Dissipation of that internal, whatever that, let's say, that entity or the thinking or the process that was involved earlier, dissipation of that is what then allows you to accept everything as you.
The ego you which started with this, like, I am different, this world is different, is again that same ego is trying to now, can I say that same ego is still standing there and saying, you know what, the world and me are the same.
Again,
I
can come from, that statement can come from, like in Gita, you'll see certain passages where Krishna says, come unto me, I only can give you the liberation. So it seems like Krishna is so full of himself, right? So again, who is saying that, who is making that statement? The one who himself or herself is still in that ego-based way of thinking, right? So therefore, who is making the statement is important. Now, Krishna doesn't necessarily have to respond to that. Because for Krishna, when he's saying, come unto me, he's not talking in terms of, come unto this body. So the come unto me is come unto the realization that you are that only. So it's in the realization that there can be true dissipation and true connection to the world. But it can as a thinking process, it's helpful. It's helpful. Rather than saying that I have to fix the world, okay, there is something that I need to see within me, is a much greater spiritual power.
Yeah.
Also, sir, can we say that, I mean, see, ego is not going to go anywhere, okay, right? Even after realization, there is an ego. Only thing is the person, I mean, I am using the ego now rather than the ego using me, right? So can I also say that this is also correcting you from how as an ego you are acting out? Is it not correcting the thought patterns that was first functioning as ego within us?
Correct.
That also needs to be corrected, right? Because there is a wrong understanding there as well.
Correct. So it is,
Okay.
it is a correction. So the earlier the ego used to think of me and the world as separate. Now, first and foremost, the inner realization is that there is no separate entity. However, during role play, a sense of separation comes and there is a mere temporary separation. So with that clarity, and where is this entire play happening? Within me. So what I think of me is how I think of the others. If, let's say, for example, I go and scold somebody, you stupid fellow. So what is that I am saying there? what is that I'm saying there? I am seeing a certain action which I am receiving, right? That action in my mind, the way it is performed, has a connotation of stupidity. So it's within me. It is within me. See, as a simple example, right? A small child, your child, comes home running. Mama, I've made a card for you. See here. And you look at the card. There is some stick figure and some circle and some, little petals here and some yellow color. It has gone out of the petal also. Some red color, which is also in the center, everywhere. So, to a third person who is not, related to that child, if you show that picture, the person will look at it and say, "Hey, what is this? This is like a stick figure." But for the mother, wow,
She can,
it's a wow.
you will see what from her view.
Because the
Yes.
mother,
So everything is like that, no? We see from our view only. So for me, it is filled with all heart and everything because, oh wow, what a love.
and when my child thinks of me and has done this, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Correct.
not the so-called external beauty of that. There is something far more deeper that you get connected to in that process. There is a feeling, there is a sense of love, there's a sense of belongingness that you get connected to. So same happens as you start dissipating the separation. So even when somebody comes and scolds you, you'll start seeing, okay, in that scolding, what is the lesson for me? What action of mine led to this as the outcome? So at the end of the day, the correction is within me. So something I said, something I did, something I did not say, something I did not do, is what has led to whatever it has been, right? So ultimately, the only place where I can correct is within me. Oh, the way I perform the action. See, the ego-based correcting will still go through a lot of pain. Oh, they scolded me, but I heard from Guruji that, world and I are not separate. I somehow have to fix my thinking. So there is still a lot of pain that is going on in the mind. I got hurt, but now I will be a bigger person. I will forgive them. They know not what they're doing. So like all that with lot of
You're forcing yourself, it's like.
yourself. So, whereas with the right realization, it is not you. So, however, the role that you're playing, there can definitely be an improvement. Okay, so what is that you need to improve? Okay, so the improvement, the feedback came in as a scolding. Sometimes the feedback comes in as a kind words. Sometimes the feedback comes in as, a hurt on the hand. It doesn't matter. What matters is the only way I can truly see how I'm playing the role is through the mirror called the world. Because the mirror that I see, the physical mirror I see, I only keep seeing my own internal, it looks nice or not nice, whatever it is. But the true mirror is the world.
Correct. So, sir, if I have to, like just now what you said, so can the correction in ego happen automatically with the right kind of jnana? Like you said, it doesn't have to be forced, but it is automatically happening when the chitta shuddhi is happening.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. So it's a process, like you rightly said, it's a process. It may begin as a practice where there is a practitioner who has heard the jnana, and that sadhaka or the practitioner is putting that to practice. And as that becomes deeper, like you rightly said, there is a subtle shift. There is simply a shift. That's all it is at the end of the day. Nothing dramatic. It is simply an internal shift which you can clearly recognize, and that's all it is.
Yeah. Also, there is a deeper. I cannot. Even peace is not the right word, sir. That starts to come within is what I'm noticing. So, yeah.
We'll call it Maha Peace, Chirashanti.
Yeah.
And then somebody will come and say, it is bigger than Chirashanti.
So Padmaji, you solved all the differences with the word.
No, some are still going on. But now see
You're
that.
still painting. You're still painting.
But now the awareness is better with the relationships, I feel. Earlier, I think when you are inside, when you are completely involved in the drama, it is very difficult to see what you are doing, isn't it? It's always about somebody else did this to me, or somebody else said this to me. Okay, you don't even think about what you said. It's always about someone else did this, someone else said this, and they made me feel like this. This is how the narrative was. However, now it is more like, okay, this has come, this is what this person is saying to me. How best can I act in this place now? It is like become like that. So the response time that I take now is also delayed. So when I say response time is delayed, then I know that, okay, I am observing and then acting, not reacting. But when the response is immediate in a flash, then I know that it's not coming from a proper place. It's the ego. That's how I make sense of it from in my world. Yeah, in my relationships. Yes.
Hey, you are just aging, Padmaji. That's why you're slowing down.
Could be that also.
Aging well.
She used to
One
answer
question
so
on
fast
this.
these days. Those days. Now, like she takes so much time. I asked a simple question.
No, I already told
And
sir.
she thinks, and then like she takes 30 minutes to answer.
Sir, on that note, I had an additional question.
Go ahead, Shubhaji. It's the same question. Different.
No. See, the 100 times.
Go ahead, Shubhaji, sorry.
Yeah, the 100 times you as Padmaji said, you think and you respond and don't react, and the 101th time you react instead of responding. How can I avoid that 101th time also?
That means you are still thinking. That's what I will go back to Vijayji's first answer.
But Shubha,
No,
I feel
because
that
the story which you told of the sadhu who gets stung by the scorpion every time, because the scorpion's this thing is twisting,
nature.
and the sadhu's this attitude is
Dharma.
to correct, yeah, dharma. But I have not reached that sadhu stage. So how do I
Yeah,
do
simple, no? Practice.
practice? Okay.
So that is what is called as sadhana. So, and one of the simplest sadhana is the sadhana of the gratitude. Because at the end of the day, so as a simple example, right? What led to the transformation of Angulimala by Buddha? So everybody else saw a killer, a dacoit. Only Buddha could go beyond that. So what has happened in Buddha's life that has developed such a deep compassion within Buddha? So you have the same power of Buddha. So initially it can be a very active, conscious way of developing consciousness, developing compassion. As you get deeper in that, and as the internal realization also deepens, it will just become a natural way of being. So when Buddha shows compassion, therefore, when your child comes and runs and hugs and says, Mama, I love you, or something like that, or it doesn't even have to say something like that, you don't question the child. You don't ever think that, the child is lying or pretending. It is so natural, because you know that the child doesn't know how to put an act like that. So like that, it just simply becomes natural. Does that bring clarity, Shubhaji?
Yes, sir. It brings clarity every time, but application sometimes goes.
No problem. That's why in system engineering, it is called as, you do some action, and then you also need to get a feedback, and then you need to correct it. So that's absolutely how it goes.
Yeah, realization happens immediately. That
Ah.
is one, that is the advantage right now. Previously, it didn't happen. So yeah, working on it.
So that itself is progress, no? Earlier it was not happening, but now you
Yes.
realize it immediately. So that itself
Yeah.
is a progress. Yeah.
Yes.
Deepa ji, Shailaja ji, what are your views and what has been discussed so far on the question number 4? Hari Om, Rupa ji.
Hari Om, Rupaji. Hari Om, Shailaja ji.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om, everyone.
Deepa ji, are you there?
Yes, sir.
What's your view?
What world thinks of me is same what I think of me, because everything goes within me. I mean, in my mind. So they are same. Will I not become a people pleaser if I go behind what the world thinks about me? Since everything is going on in my mind, there is no question of being a people pleaser. That's it.
Can you elaborate on that, the second point? So, for example, can you take some certain situations and see and show or illustrate how this
Yeah.
can be applied? Because I think this one is easier to kind of answer. Okay, I and the world are the same, but it's the situation-based application where there can be kind of confusion. Therefore, I'm asking this question.
Yes, sir. What others are thinking of me is I actually wouldn't know what they are thinking of me, but I predict that they must be thinking of me like this in my mind.
No,
So
it's obvious also sometimes, right? Like people talk and like you're surprised, like, really? This is what you thought of me? Like, this is what you thought like I was doing for? You have never come across that?
You are our question guru. I'm telling.
I think of me.
Right?
But that will happen only when I converse with them.
Yes, that's when we are trying to apply this. Not when you're by yourself.
See, when you're independently sitting and thinking about people, yeah, okay, you are thinking, okay, this is what they
Sarbaji
think
keeps
and
drawing the
all
world.
that.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a great situation to look at. So right now there's a live conversation happening. Okay. In the live conversation, they say something.
Like, I just told Padmaji, for her, like she's full of herself. She doesn't care who I am, what I'm doing. Like she just keeps painting in her own ways.
Yeah, Sarvanji, even I want to complain. As if you and I don't even exist. What she thinks of herself, I say.
I feel so low today. Like I don't exist. I'm just like physical body. That's it.
Hey, Sarvanji, you have to put a different act. I feel so low today. You're so high.
Looks like we need one more program for drama. Let's
Going
put
on.
it there.
Why
People
you
are
why
missing the
you wait for
drama.
future? It's going on right now. Huh?
Yes,
Guru
every day.
Purnima is approaching. Guru Purnima is approaching.
Sarananji has already started writing
Yeah.
dialogues for all of us.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's listen now. Deepaji.
Yeah, when I converse,
Hmm.
I may come to know what they think of me.
Mm.
Uh,
And you find the difference.
is
And that doesn't bother you.
no, it bothers.
And you converse with like 20, 30 people.
Okay.
When it bothers you, how do you deal with it? How do you say at that time that what I think of myself is what they are thinking of? How do you make sense of that statement when you are in that situation?
Uh, uh, this has happened actually recently. Um, I was in good terms with a person, and I thought all the conflicts have got resolved. But to some means, I came to know that that person actually thinks still wrong about me, and it bothered for some time. But then I took a deep breath and I applied this that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. So that helped me to calm down. But that helped me. But in that particular situation, I didn't think that what the world is thinking of me is the same as what I think of me.
Mm.
Because what the other person said about me is not the same as what I think of myself.
Mm.
So it hurt me first.
And you're saying that by applying that jnana, you were able to overcome the hurt.
Yeah.
So again here, see, when I say the world, what the world thinks of me is what I think of me. Or in other words, it can also be framed as the world is a reflection of how I am, okay, or who I am is another way of phrasing it. Who I am, who I am when I get in touch with the core, when I deeply get connected with my core, when that I and uh, you know the so-called inner core is separate, I am a separate entity. When that is resolved, who I am truly, I am simply an embodiment of love, compassion. It is not a made-up feeling. That is what it is. Love is the like the light that shines forth. So therefore, then the world around me simply transforms in that radiation. It's simply a natural process.
Yes, sir. But still, uh, but that is not clear within me. That the world, what the world thinks of me is same as what I think of me. This can be applied. What you said can be applied, but truly agreeing to this statement not happening.
That is where the practice. So situations which are adverse, situations which are not, let's say, that are pleasing to me, are the situations that help me to realize where the gap is still. See, it keeps happening in any situation of life. Even in a satsang, even in various kinds of so-called holy places. In fact, in such places, it is even more amplified, because now you have to you are being shown the mirror of what the jnana and where I stand. When a conflict like that comes, if someone comes and scolds, let's say you are doing a seva, and someone comes and says, "Is this how you do the seva? Is this the way it has to be done?" It happens. It happens. We keep organizing so many events, right? It happens. People come and find faults with whatever that has been done. Again, nothing right or wrong. Please don't think that finding faults is a wrong thing. No, I'm not saying that. When they find faults, it's an opportunity to improve. And that realization or that way of functioning can come very naturally. Because when they find a fault, let's assume I have organized a particular event and they come and find a fault with what has been done. Say maybe the food arrangement, or maybe let's say the stage decoration, or maybe who was invited first and who was invited later. Something like that. Some fault. There can be 100 ways of looking at it, right? Some fault. Now, one is I can take an offense and say, "Hey, this is I'm doing such a great thing. Why are you finding faults with that?" Is one way. Another way is simply, okay, what is the underlying message there? Why is that that particular comment is coming? Maybe many people felt the food was not very tasty. So just because you're doing a seva, so-called seva, and if you do not care for that aspect, your product, whatever that you are offering, will be inferior. So see, so-called creation, look at the sense of perfection in that, in every little aspect, whether it's a leaf or whether it is a small bacteria or a living cell, whatever you look at it, everything has such a beauty and a sense of perfection. So that divine quality within you, which can focus on bringing out that completeness in whatever that is being done, is what is being there brought out through that feedback. So when can you look at all these feedback in that way? When you feel that, like how you rightly said it, Deepaji, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. So the action is happening. So the comment is on the action. The comment is on what has happened. Something was done, and it's a comment on that. It is not on you. It is not on me. So I have to be separate from what is happening. So in that only, there can be dispassion towards any comment that comes towards your way. And as you practice that dispassion, over a period of time, it becomes so natural that even upon a very rude and a crude comment, you can simply smile at it, truly, not a fake smile. You will know it. You will know it because there is no other to give you a yardstick for this. You can simply smile at it and look at, what is that needs to be modified. Does that?
On that note, can I? Yeah.
Go ahead, Shubhaji.
One extended question on that. See, when you say somebody, when they are doing seva and somebody is commenting, okay, in that situation, I am not doing the seva, but someone else is commenting negatively on that person doing seva. So can I correct them, or can I help them in realizing that not everything is wrong, and can I say this is beyond all that, so they shouldn't be commenting, or I should just not or should I just ignore that?
Depends upon your relationship with them, no? And what is that they are. So as an example, somebody who's not even connected with that particular satsang or that event, some third person says something, and they don't necessarily want to discuss or understand. The nature of mind.
Yeah, some people's nature is to complain.
Simply complain, right?
Yeah.
So now you can find a fault with everything. So now what can you do? You simply smile and let it be.
Okay.
If you have an opportunity to engage in a conversation, you can ask, what made you give a comment like this? And if you feel that, there is genuine listening and genuine understanding to are genuine seeking to understand and then to say, okay, I can be corrected, then see if something, to the contrary can be said. So it depends upon the situation and who you are dealing with.
Yeah, but if I agree, won't I become party to their complaints also?
You don't necessarily have to agree. You can simply even mention that I see slightly differently.
Correct. Okay. Yeah.
So, see, whether you express your opinion or not, I can even simply say that, I may not agree to what you are feeling or how you are viewing it. There is another way of looking at it. If you want, I can tell you, this is the way I look at it.
Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Coming back to Deepaji. So, Deepaji, anything more you would like to add or ask?
No, sir.
Shailaja ji, what is your viewpoint on this question?
I completely agree with Padmaji what she said. Like that though we don't have the capacity, and if we stretch ourselves, then it definitely leads to stress. Like pleasing others. We have to only think that world and me both are same. And even the example what you gave is a very good example, that is relating, that is art of a small kid. We have to please that kid. Appreciating more than appreciating, we have to encourage that kid to do more artwork, and going forward that kid will correct herself or himself. That way, at that stage itself, if we say something, they give some negative feedback, that kid might not be happy, or that kid won't progress further, I feel. And there are few examples which happens with me and even with my parents. They try, when we attend some family functions very close, my mother, she is very particular about ornaments. she says you should wear over phone. She advises you come very simple without any jewelries. You have to look very grand. That the saree should be rich. It should be rich looking. And it's that rich people, our aunt and uncle, they are very financially very well. That way, I say initially I used to please my mother because I should make her feel happy more than others. And then slowly I tried to convince her, see, this is not the way it should be. Going forward, how many times she will be bringing jewelries for me. She asked me, only gold you should wear, no artificial, that this, they can make out very well if you wear. You have to present yourself nicely in front of them. Then slowly I made them understand, see, this won't continue for a long run. This is how I am. Let them accept or live, but you please don't force me this way. Then slowly they understood, and now they are okay. However I go, okay, they were. My sister actually she likes all those things. But in my case, it is different. They used to compare me, all those things. Now they are okay. Okay, you are like this, let it be. They have accepted me, sir. No. So even they know she doesn't like to please others. So sometimes it happens. We have to please our loved ones. So we have to balance everything, and it takes some time, I think, sir.
Excellent. Very nice example.
That's all.
Thank you, Shailaja ji.
Thank you.
Rupa ji? Rupa ji, are you there?
Sir, I will only listen today.
Okay, Rupa ji. So going back.
One more question came. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
No, so one more question came that without this duality that we experienced initially, just like how we have that ego to protect ourselves in the beginning, right? It is essential. Just like that, if there was no duality, will we even perform any action, sir? Because
So it's
I
a
feel
good
like
question. It's a good question. In fact, just the other day, right? One of the child in the Gita class asked this question. So Prabhuji says, I am Brahman. What is there for me to do?
yeah,
Right?
because of all these people, no, initially it is people pleasing, but if these people were not there around us, like what just now Shailaja ji said, most of the time we say it is at world, but most of the time it is our close and near and dear ones there where we function as people pleaser, not to somebody external, next door neighbor and all. It is usually the nearest connections that you have where you become the people pleaser. So if they were not there, like for example, what Shailaja ji said, similar experiences we all go through. But to find that courage to say it well, explain in a proper manner to them itself, it is not so easy. It doesn't come out, or you might say, but they might just ignore you, saying that, no, that's all not correct. They might not even want to listen to you. But because that also strengthens that thing within you, that what you are thinking. Like, for example, I want to be simple. I don't believe in all this show off. To make that stronger also, you need these people within, outside, isn't it?
Correct. So see, that's the whole message, no? That the world is a mirror. In what way? So this child's question is also similar. Oh, I am Brahman. What is there for me to do? So the completion, the Purnatva is, I am Brahman, understanding is not enough. I am Brahman has to be in action. So I am Brahman in action means what? That the deep love and compassion And that very very action of service, the yagna, which is the true dharma of you. If you're truly dharman, then you have no such qualms about should I do something or not. It is like how as a mother, if your child comes home crying, having hurt, you don't question. You don't keep on thinking, I am Brahman, it will get fixed by itself. You simply there look at what is that you need to do in order to alleviate the problem or the pain that the child is going through. You simply act. You simply act. Or if you see that your child is about to get into danger, maybe as a little child you would have done it 100 times, about to hit the head at the corner, or about to fall, or about to put its hand in fire, whatever, maybe 100 examples. You simply acted. There was no thinking behind that action. So that is the true nature. That is what is referred as the compassion, the deep compassion of the Buddha, of the Sadguru. And that action stems from, of course, there is a thinking process that comes to that feeling later. See, the thing is, first the feeling that I want to do something nice for my family. Then comes the thinking. The feeling is shaped by the thinking. So there's nothing wrong with the thinking. Please don't think that whatever is being said is to reduce the power of the thinking. Thinking is a power. But the thinking first is to, the thinking is to guide something. What is that you're guiding? What is that you're guiding? It has to be that deep feeling, a genuine feeling, and a feeling that comes from within. That is, so that's why it's called as a feeling. So feeling means what? It is something that you have no way to express how it happens. It's something that simply seems to emerge. So the feeling of, that love, or I want to protect, I want to do the best. So from where it comes, it is not something that, you have cultivated over a period of time by thinking. It simply seems to come. That is what you can call as the power of your heart. So you have two fundamental powers, the power of your heart and the power of your thinking. So the power of the thinking has to come next to the power of the heart. So the power of the heart is the one which is more aligned to you. That is a true dharma. That is what in that story, the Guru says, my dharma. Simply the feeling is, I have to protect. Because that feeling comes because you have no sense of separation, truly. For the mother, for the child, there is no sense of separation. That's why the mother acts the way the mother acts at the time of the birth, or when the child seems to be in danger. When the child seems to be in danger, it's the mother that feels really the most worried. And that's why any animal is highly protective when you want to go near the cub of that particular animal. Unless you are a small child. If you are a small child, that mother cat or the mother dog is okay, the way you handle the cub. But if you're an adult, it kind of gets rattled. So like that, the power of the heart has to be shaped by the power of the thinking.
No, going back to the question, since maybe I didn't get the direct answer. Padmaji said because of the differences, only actions happen. If
Initially, it may appear so. Initially, it may appear so. It is like initially I may think that if I just simply press the button, light comes, right? Because I've not yet become aware of the electricity that is flowing from somewhere else. As a small child, I may think that it's my mother who makes the food. Initially, I may think that,
Yeah.
right, like that, hundreds of examples are there, right? Why? It is not that the phenomena is happening differently. It is just that my awareness, my understanding of the phenomena is
Changing.
partial.
Maharshi.
So that is that is the answer to Padmaji's question. The duality is because of my partial understanding of the phenomena.
Now, even if she consciously removes duality, actions are not going to stop, right?
Correct. Who's talking about removing the action? We are not talking about removing the action. We're talking about the attitude behind the action. So when I am separate, yes, correct. I have to get something, do something. That's how the interpretation happens during that stage.
Mhm.
But the same phenomena with the right clarity, it is essentially an happening. Back then also it was an happening. But then there was someone claiming that I am doing.
Mhm.
That's the only difference. That claimer is disappearing. And when the claimer disappears, action doesn't disappear. Only the claimer disappears. The doer and the enjoyer disappears.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with the action.
Yeah. From the actions point of view, I think it's just happening. I cannot control it. Even if I say like, um, um, I create the world, I cannot control.
Yeah. See, that's
It
why
is happening. You can
this,
witness.
this Mahavakya, there's one more Vedic Mahavakya. The divine, for example, Prajnanam Brahma is a pointer to the divine, right?
Mm.
So the divinity is expressed through those two words.
Yeah.
Similarly, there is another pointer, Satyam Ritam Brihat.
Mm.
So that which is divine is the only ultimate truth, Satyam. Ritam. Ritam means it expresses in a very rhythmic, in a very right order.
Mm-hmm.
Rhythm is, what is the meaning of it, sir? Rhythm?
Rhythm. Rhythm means, the rough English translation is right order.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which,
It's not connected to season or anything.
in fact, it is. The word Rutu is the same root as Rhythm. And Rutu, essentially, if you see, there is a cyclicity. There is a rhythm,
Changing.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you notice this entire existence, right?
Mm.
See, for example, Earth. Earth is a big ball. And the mass of the Earth is equivalent to almost like 10 to the power of 22 number of people. Today, the world population is only 10 to the power of 9.
Mm.
Okay. Only 7 billion, right? 10 to the power of 9. Whereas 10 to the power of 22 is so many zeros. Those many people is equivalent to just the mass of the Earth. Now, think of the universe. That Earth, then our so many other planets in the solar system, they all are well balanced. They are all rotating around the sun, and the sun itself and the entire solar system is rotating around the Milky Way galaxy's center point. And this itself is also expanding. And all this is happening in such a high speed. And it is said that even by few degrees, even by few degrees if the axis of the Earth's rotation changes, the whatever the life that we see here will be destroyed. So it must be a very precise and highly well orchestrated order, no? Or think of your heart and any human being's heart. In an average person's lifetime, say if an average person lives for about say 70 years, in an average person's lifetime, it's said to have beaten for about 2.5 shata. Shata means 100, koti means crores. 100 crore, 2.5 100 crores time. Such a large number of times without missing a beat. Average person, I'm saying, healthy person, right? Without missing a beat. And any misbeat in that causes various kinds of troubles, right? So this is the quality of the divine, rhythm. And now if you start noticing, you'll see that rhythm in everything. There, the rhythm in the day and the night, the rhythm in the seasons, the rhythm in how various body functions happen. So there is a perfect order. There's a perfect order in how things are happening. And this order of this Satyam is seen as this entire Brihat. This entire Brihat is that Satyam only through this rhythm. So Satyam, Rhythm, Brihat. So to realize this, in a way, Satyam is like the zero. That which is expressing as everything. And when it is expressing as everything, in that everything, it is a constantly changing phenomena. Body is changing, the mountains are changing, plants are changing, stars are changing. So when it is expressing as an object, it is constantly a changing phenomena. The object nature of the Satyam is not a permanent nature. It's a constantly changing nature. So in that sense, that Satyam, that Sadvastu, is whose inherent quality is nothingness. It is nothing. It is not something that you can pinpoint it. But that nothing is expressing as everything through this perfect order, which is inherent. And tuning to that inherent rhythm, how do I live my life by tuning to that inherent rhythm, is the practice of dharma. So all of this question initially is a practice of dharma. And when that rhythm is recognized as an inherent nature, then that dharma is no more a practice. The practice part of the dharma drops. Then dharma is the inherent nature of existence. Dharma
So
is
rhythm here is translating equivalent to dharma, no, sir?
From rhythm, dharma comes. Dharma is a natural. So dharma, rhythm is dharma, correct? Okay. So when you recognize that rhythm, then you translate that rhythm into, okay, how I should live my life as a wife. What is the right order? What is the right conduct I should practice, inculcate? This is a rhythm, no, as a wife also. There's a rhythm also. There's a rhythm, no, as a whatever the role you play. So as a person of this nation. So what is the rhythm that I should follow? Becomes the dharma. That is what is called as dharma. When what you practice is in tune with this natural rhythm, rhythm is the natural tendency of the Satya, natural tendency of the divine, natural way that divine is. Divine is full of this wonderful order. It may appear chaotic, again, depending upon my own mind's composition, but it is not. There's a naturalness in this order, right? When you start seeing it that way. So when you tune yourself to be conducting whatever you're doing in accordance to that, that is what is true dharma is. So when you perform anything with that attitude, then there is no more dissonance. Then you are, see, when the music is tan, tadan, tadan, and your movement is according to tan, tadan, tadan, there is no more a dissonance. Then you feel very in tune with the music.
You're one with the flow.
You're one with the flow. Then you're nothing but that only. So to be one with the flow is the practice of dharma. And as you become natural at it, then you recognize that that is who I am. Satya.
Yeah, you become the flow.
You become the flow. You are the flow.
Yeah.
Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satya Dharma Rataya cha Bhajatam Kalpavrukshaya Namatam Kama Dhenave. That's why Krishna says, Parjanyad Anna Sambhavaha. When you are performing in tune with dharma, then only rain happens. And through rain, Anna comes.
Mm.
Anyway, coming back, Shubhaji, you brought out this question. I think we covered many aspects. Has all of this brought clarity to the question that you raised?
Yes, sir. Because the ultimate, I feel most of the sufferings in our life is because we tend to become people pleasers. That is why this question came. And yeah, there is a lot of clarity now for me.
Wonderful. Would you like to summarize, the clarity through your?
Yeah. So what world thinks of me is same as what I think of me. Yeah. When I am at conflict, then what world thinks of me and what I think of me is different. When I have no conflict within me, it becomes the same. And I become a people pleaser again because there is duality in what I think inside me. When all these dualities go away, and once I start applying that, or rather than applying, I realize that I am not that duality, and the other person and the I in me are the same, then I realize that what world thinks of me and everything becomes one. There is no difference in what world thinks of me, what I think of the world, and what I think of me and what I am all becomes the same.
Wonderful.
So the third question, there is no difference when I realize that I is everything. There is no duality.
Very nice.
And the conflict also is settled in the mind. So the takeaway for me is I was under the opinion that thinking will make me this thing, but take away all these things. But realization is what is required, is the takeaway for me. That thin line or the difference between thinking and realizing is what makes a larger difference.
Yeah.
And puts me into the right path.
And post that you can think.
Yeah. But realizing will help me in the longer run.
Correct.
Yes, thank you.
It's like a habit formation. Until it becomes a habit, we have to remember to do something.
Yeah.
So once it becomes a habit, I don't think. I just get up and brush my teeth. I don't think.
Yes. That is realization has happened.
Yeah. When realization has happened, and it doesn't require a,
Reminder.
kind of an reminder.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
You stop thinking.
Yeah. Wonderful. So, shall we continue with the next question? Or
Yeah.
should we end? How do everyone feel?
We can end here, sir.
Okay, all right. So, thank you all. Thank you very much. Hari Om.